So this is kind of a brain fart sort of thing. So, as you know, the cosmic whale room seemed to be missing, right? We found the Lemurian ruin. We found the gift shop. We found the Carousel Delphine. We found the jellyfish gondola, all on our quote unquote date with Sora. The cosmic whale room was missing. Now, here's the silly thing. If I It has to do with me not knowing German. So if I type in cosmic whale into Google Translate and then translate it from English into German, it translates into kosmischer Wal. And I was suspicious that was going to happen because um well, Val, WAL. Let's see, is OBS working? Yeah, it's okay. Is like whale, it's just missing the E. And German and English have a lot of these really weird, obscure, highly corrupted cognates. So I was like, huh. And also, the submarine was shaped like a whale. So I was thinking maybe that was actually cosmic whale, and it turns out it is. Also, if you look at the word Kosmischer Val, the first five letters of that KOSMI are very similar to the first five letters of cosmic COSMI. And I literally went through the whole hours upon hours of gameplay that I've been doing. Um, with this slight suspicion that that was German for cosmic whale and never checking, which was silly. So, yeah, they made it totally different, right? If you remember the original game, the cosmic whale used to be a exhibit where there'd be a whale that would be on some sort of contraption and it would kind of undulate and you would sit on it and it would kind of throw you around, it would kind of bounce around, right? That was the whole point. Um, they completely changed it into a whale-shaped submarine that you would take down off a Drite stock and you explore the um, the sea floor in it and then come back. Right? It was like a submarine kind of deep sea exploring exhibit, which makes it completely different. But if you recall, they were very minimalistic about the artwork of the original Cosmic Whale. The background art for the Cosmic Whale was just like a whale in surrounded by like this background of stars, and didn't even show like the walk up to it or how you'd get on it or the works running the ride. It was like very lazily, seemingly last minute drawn, and all of the like paintings that had Sora in them that depicted a scene that took place in the Cosmic Whale Room. Now, I only recall one, and I think it's like Sora Lead and Lighter. Um, Also one with Sugumi in it, but like the characters that would fill up the field of view so much there's basically no background. They don't actually draw the cosmic whale in those paintings. It's like it's black background, and so they can port those paintings anywhere they want to. Really, if in this Xbox remake they want to reuse the paintings, so it seems like they had some freedom to completely change the nature of the Cosmic Whale Room, and it's still working if they want to reuse those graphics, which I noticed that they don't necessarily reuse every painting. Um, but they get really close to doing so. I'm trying to remember which painting they didn't reuse, and I forget which one it was, but they noticeably did reuse one. Anyway. So, in case it would have been clear to you if you were watching these videos. I'm not really giving you any new information here. You should have known, just like I should have known, that Kajmi Shirval was the cosmic whale, or German for cosmic whale. It's very obvious looking at it. But in case in the remote chance you didn't, it is. Like me, who was kind of suspicious of it but never checked, it is. Uh, there's a cosmic whale's here. It's just totally different, but it's here. The room is here. Sweet. Now, just kind of reviewing here. Where I left off was I am at this point absolutely sure I am in a Sora differentiated route, but my suspicions at the beginning of my previous recording were correct. They seem to be cutting out the Tsugumi specialized scenes if you're in the Sora route. They're not, instead of doing like the original where they're still there, it's just to get a different version of them. The only scene in the Sora route that's not the only scene in the Tsugumi route that's not in the Sora route that you would get before you got to the bad ending, if you were to get the bad ending, is, I would call it Jellyfish Gondola 2, the second Jellyfish Gondola scene. The previous two Tsugumi scenes, they exist, but they're just in different variations. So you swim for Chami. That happens in both routes. It's just that Takeshi swims in the Tsugumi route. Tsugumi's in the security office, using the cameras to help Takeshi. Tsugumi swims in the Sora route with Takeshi incapacitated on the floor of the pipe room. And despite being able to see in the dark, for some reason, this is kind of poor writing, Tsugumi does not manage to catch Chami. But Chami crawls back on his own and gets recovered anyway. It appears that in this Xbox remake, it's kind of similar in that probably Takeshi swims for Chami, which is awkward because that makes Takeshi swimming underwater twice in one day. But Takeshi swims for Chami, and the Takeshi in the Tsugumi side, Tsugumi swims for Chami on the Sora side. Yeah, but it's just that the scene is cut down so that there isn't a consideration for Takeshi doing it on the Tsugumi side. It mostly happens off on the Sora side. Sorry, I'm getting these really mixed up. On the Sora side, he's kind of really off screen, so you only actually encounter Tsugumi until she's soaking wet and stumbling around after it's all been said and done. And in the meantime, you are off with Takeshi doing some scene that's basically just going on a date with Sora, which is a scene that does happen that just kind of ends up overlapping and takes longer than it does in the original. And the original just kind of made more time in the Sora route anyway, somehow. So this suggests, and then when, in the timeline of the original, when the first Jellyfish Gondola scene would occur, that is at 3 in the morning, on the morning of the 5th. And we're now at the morning of the 5th, and nothing happened at 3 in the morning. So that suggests the first Jellyfish Gondola scene is also cut. The first Jellyfish Gondola scene being cut means that we can't have the same follow-up. We can't have Sora's response to the first Jellyfish Gondola scene in the morning, so that might not even be in there. It might be that we've just finished all the Sora scenes by this point. In which case, Sora doesn't wipe her memories. We don't have Sora versus Sora, which is odd because that was primed by Sora's suggestion of there being multiple Soras. And then, but it kind of makes sense because they've made Sora much more power limited in the Xbox remake. It used to be that Sora was very, omniscient, but she wouldn't look at footage which she didn't have any reason to look at, but she could view all the footage in theory, hypothetically. They decided to make Sora very limited in what she can see in the Xbox remake, where sometimes she can't even tell things without going to the control room. Making her image in the control room. And the only way for her to make her image in the control room is if there's somebody to put the image into also in the control room. She's very crippled. So she couldn't even, record and rewatch the footage from the Jellyfish Gondola, which means that couldn't even work. But anyway, so that's where we are. We're at the morning of the 5th, but nothing happened in the night of the 5th. He just slept through the night. Here we are in the morning of the 5th. So, cool. Let's keep going. The most important thing to remember is that the time limit is less than 2 days away. Um, and that somehow got translated correctly in spite of accident. Somehow, I better get OBS open so it's not confusing myself here. Somehow I interjected a co here that wasn't there. I'm pretty sure that's the correct translation though. Okay, she's like, no, sorry. I don't know why. I don't think that should be sorry because this symbol right here, should that mean some sort of communication of some sort, attestation? Oh, interesting. Well, I have to take what I can get. I didn't misread the characters, so. It was true. So I don't remember the context of this. Oh, kanji all over again. Basically, I should have set my alarm before I went to bed. It has a hard time translating it because this kanji is wrong. So I ended up. I think I remember it correctly. Coco woke him up with mustard. If I had done that, Coco would have to woken me up so recklessly.
食事の方はココと少年が調達してくれたからさっさと食べてね。
The meal was procured by Coco and the boys, so eat quickly.
そしてちゃっちゃと修理を済ませてとっとと脱出しましょう。
Let's get the repairs done quickly and get the hell out of here. Again, I don't know if there's any reference to hell in the Japanese. There's a tendency for Deepal to interject profanities. Okay, let me see if I can remember these. So this is. Oh, I can't. I guess. Ne. N. Te. Ah, this is an O one. Ente. Something on. Suruzmu. Suruma. Uh. I can't. To memorize these things, what you should do, like what you're supposed to, the thing that you're supposed to do. I don't know who would say you're supposed to do this. Is you make a grid where you put the vowels like on one axis and the consonants on the other axis, and then you try to fill in the katakana yourself, right? Um, and I haven't actually gone through and done that procedure, so I haven't. That's not entirely responsible for me not memorizing my katakana, but it's like something that I should do, and if I want to make that happen, and I haven't done it. Yeah, so these ones here, these two here, I'm having a hard time with. This is this is te, this is su, this is ru, this is long vowel, so it's ru, this is mu. Okay, so it's something in Sarum, and I can't recognize the word from just that. Anyway, I'm just gonna translate it. Um, by the way, is boat number two in the maintenance room? Is boat number two? You mean like Jonathan? Um, oh, okay. So it's me, te, ne. So this was the ne. This is the me. So mentenesurum. Okay. Well, now I know.
さっき確認に行ったらもうすでにあったわよ。だからさっさと食べてちゃっちゃと修理しちゃいましょう。
It's interesting how they don't like make the room Japanese. They just kind of put that as part of the name of the thing. I just went to check and it was already there. So let's eat quickly and get it fixed up. They have to fix the boat? I didn't remember that. I guess we should eat quickly first. Furious Pete. I sit in a chair at the table. Well, you did, but it said I would because we don't know the context. The translator doesn't know the context. Um, Interestingly, they made Tebru. They used a borrowed word. I don't know why Tebru is a borrowed word. Maybe it's because they don't eat off of high tables. They didn't eat off of high tables in Japan when Japanese was whatever. On the table was a pile of deep sea hot spring buns and a lot of chikua, whatever that is. I don't know that dish. Maybe it's a bad translation, but it's a spectacular combination.
タケぴょん、たくさん持ってきたから、どんどん食べてね。
Takepyon, I brought a lot of food, so please eat as much as you can. Yeah, if you don't remember, I was going to remind you. This symbol means food. So every time you see that, think food. Having a hard time with this one though, because I thought it meant like mountain. So maybe it's something to do with the a lot of, but these are kind of far apart. So whatever.
マヨネーズとわさびに醤油をちょっと垂らして食べると美味しいんだよ。
Okay. Ma. I have a hard time with this one. This one I think is ho. This is z. And this is to. This is wa. So can't do it. So I like did some silly stuff on my computer screen. Mayonnaise, of course, no. It's delicious with mayonnaise, wasabi, and a dash of soy sauce. Um, so this is yay then, right? Ma yay o zetonwa. Whatever. Oh, so this okay, this is the and conjunction. So it's mayonnaise and wasabi. Okay. Ugh. I've never eaten wasabi, by the way. Nor have I ever eaten Japanese mayonnaise, which I presume is different than American mayonnaise. But I would guess it tastes something like horseradish, which I have eaten, and yes, I really like horseradish. I reached for the chikua and ate it just as Coco said. Oh, it's surprisingly good. The isn't it probably isn't there. Well, unless this particle, yeah, unless that makes a.
でしょ。
It is there because the question mark in the, yeah, so yes, it is there. It's that particle. So looking for assurance particle, you know? I agree or whatever. I gobbled up the chikua. So I presume this is like this like paku paku thing is like a mimetic word that means chewing or something. Okay. Or eating quickly or something. Here it comes. Horseradish. Hooks through the nose. Oh, it doesn't seem like there's any character mess ups in there. It's accidental, not like ones and twos and stuff. Yeah, I don't know what's trying to go for there. I mean, the tuine doesn't make. That's just this exclamation. The horseradish pokes through the nose or something, or the wasabi, whatever. Spent so much time talking about wasabi. Turn my nose up. Tears come out of my closed eyes. Okay, so this is definitely up. So the nose did come up. So this means closed because I remember from the open closed button that this means closed. Um, I think this actually does mean eyes, but the font is weird. This means exit, so this is where the coming out of part is written. Whatever. That will probably not translate to anything. Yes. Horseradish or whatever is poked through your nose. Penetrated is probably you would translate it as penetrated my nose. That would make more sense. I sneezed loudly. It is the horseradish now, or the mustard from yesterday that's still in my nose. Is it the horseradish now, or the mustard from yesterday still being in my nose? Yes, I don't know what the transfusion's all about. You got a mustard transfusion. I got day, middle water. Did I catch a cold from yesterday's swim? Correct. So this is like in the water. So like in the water. So I presume this here is swimming. Well, whatever. Could it look kind of like the symbol for water? This is probably yesterday because this is day, right? So this is like previous day. No is possessive, so it's the swim belongs to yesterday. And then there's another no, which I don't know if that's also a possessive. That might mean cold. I don't know because I don't know. Trying to immerse and failing. Ah, I'm getting all twitchy again. I'll be right back. It can't be. Okay, it can't be that because there's not enough symbols. Translated to too many things there. I hurriedly eat a sweet bun to neutralize the taste. Then pour the tea down the drain. I don't think that's probably just pour the tea down your throat, you mean? Says Sue. Or does he literally like throw out the whatever he was eating? After getting comfortable, I look again at the chikua on the table. Again, this taburu. It's delicious. I didn't think chikua could taste so good. It's like, wah? Yeah, it's ha, okay. At that moment, I braced myself for an unidentified deep sea fish to float in front of me. It didn't happen. I guess it wasn't made from a deep sea fish. But nothing happened. What's that? Normally, Sora should be here on a dime. Let's see here. This is a ka. Mean. Oh, that's literally dime. Okay. Once again, I look around the break room. We're gonna get like a substitute for the response to Jellyfish Gondola scene. Only you, Coco, the boy, and Pee were in the room. Sugumi is not, of course. I can read Sugumi at the beginning of that. Sugumi's absence is always a good thing. Pooey on you, Takeshi. Pooey. Maybe it's a assured thing. Maybe it's good is a bad translation. I'm hoping good's a bad translation. Is Sora not here? I asked you.
あれ、そうか、言ってなかったっけ。そらね、今メンテナンス中だからいないわよ。
I was like staring at this, but like I forgot it. I forgot the characters again. Oh, it's maintenance. Okay. What did I not say? Sora's not here. She's undergoing maintenance, which is true in the original. She was undergoing maintenance. Um, Although she was undergoing maintenance in the morning as well. Maintenance? Question mark. Something wrong with Sora?
なんでも想定外の出来事でシステムに不具合が現れ始めたからメンテナンスするって言っていたのよね。
Well, not in this timeline. I think it's an unexpected event, and the system started to have glitches. So they said they were going to do. She said she was going to do some maintenance. Okay, so we might get a little bit of a. I guess it'll be similar. So this suggests we get something similar. So it won't be like you won't get the whole "you cheated on me" thing. Like you are, or you became unavailable to me because you found another girl thing. But you will still have like a situation where she's broken because she wants something to happen that's not possible. That might still be the case. It'll just be like less edgy. They'll tone it down a bit. Okay, turn the auto off. There we go. Suddenly the lights flickered. The OCR is slow. I never have problems with that, Mighty. There we go. What is it?
停電。
To clarify is that sometimes I have problems with the translation being slow because my internet is slow. I generally don't have issues with the character recognition being slow because that happens locally and I have unlimited power to accomplish said things. I'm going to backlog this because this has something to do with electricity, right? So it's not Keratin, it's something to do with electricity.
チカチカ。
Okay, Chika Chika. Translating that again. Still autoing. Just stop it. Okay. It's been Wei Din. So having really so that cla- that so that character is really hard to do. It looks like for the OCR, but the second character is electricity, so it has something to do with the
停電。
lights. Well, at least it's what she says. Wei Din. Okay,
どうしたの？
what's wrong? So I turn the auto on myself. I brace myself for a moment, as I have done in the past. Nothing happened. She's gonna be like, phew, everything's okay. I'm okay. Okay, cool.
そうね。変な音も聞こえないし、揺れもなかったわね。
I didn't hear any strange noises, and there was no shaking.
多分これが想定外の出来事によるシステムの不具合ってやつじゃないかしら。
Okay, so this is Shimutemu, which is system or something. System. System. Okay. Maybe this is what you call a system glitch caused by an unexpected delivery. Okay. It's true, we've had a series of unexpected events. I wonder if Sora was pushing too hard.
多分これが空っていうよりレミに問題があるようだけどね。
Sora is just the interface program. I think the problem is more with Lemire than Sora, though.
まあレミも空も同じコンピューターで別プログラムなだけだけど。
Lemire and Sora are the same computer, just different programs. I don't know. I don't know about you, but I'm sure it's going to cause a lot of trouble. Okay?
そうね。
Yes, that's right.
で、そうそう、それで思い出した。はい、これ。
Thanks, Deep L. I can always depend on you. So this means exit. So something comes out of something, but if that's all I can really tell, let me cut off that joke at the front. Maybe that'll help. Which reminds me. Okay. Just getting a reminder is kind of like something coming out. Okay, Purinto. Print. Okay, she needs to print something. You passes a large number of prints to me. Okay, so it's a noun. What is this? Except because it's DeepL Translator, it says, what the hell is this? I didn't use a non-character, so I guess it kind of like it's like an informal "what is this," and they decided to make it an angry "what is this." I flipped through the prints. It looks like blueprints for something.
メンテナンス前に空に頼んでプリントしてもらったコスミッシャーバルの修理手順が書かれたマニュアルと修理パーツリストよ。
This is Ma. I have to somehow remember that this is like Na. It's not Ma, because that's a different character. Okay. Or Me. No, it's Me. That's what it is. Okay. Me, and this is Ne. Me, Ne. Me, Ne. Me, Ne. It's gonna be hard to remember. I asked Sora to print out a manual with repair procedures and a part list for the Kashmir Shirval before maintenance. Yeah, but you not going to use the Kashmir Shirval? You're going to use the yeah. Part of this is that it's like the wrong letters. It's nicely spelled like the way you would in German. It's like spelled wrong. So how's it actually spelled? It's spelled yeah. Close. Kashmir Shir. Oh, why is it on? Stop autoing. And if I clicked auto on, it would make toggle it. Okay. Um, so so this is maintenance. This is print again. So this is print. This is kosmi. Okay, these are hard always. So this is I think a she. So this is a tsu. Um, wait. Yeah. Kos kosamichi. So this is kotsamichi shaw. Okay, so there's a shaw. Shaw. So that's Kashmir Val. Okay. Um, for our two levels. This Ni. This is you, Ru. So Cristo. I'm bad at this. Let's keep going. Is this all of it? Is it not expected? Okay, so this means mini. This means up. So I can see that can be more.
ああ、ごめん。コスミシャーバルの操縦マニュアルも混ぜちゃったみたい。
Sorry, I think I mixed up Kashmir Val's pilot's manual too. Oh, it would be if it's a submarine though. The maintenance thing would be pretty thick. Pilot manual. Why don't we just let Sora do it for us?
水中じゃ電波は届かないでしょ。それに、オートパイロットのプログラムの書き換えは空にはできないのよ。
Right, Sora can't. Sora's just an interface communication program. She can't like do things like pilot the. She can't like do action like that. Can't get a signal underwater, can't you? Being whatever. I get the point. I see. What is it? What is this? I finished listening to you. Something struck me in the following paragraphs, basically. It just inserted that rant circle into it. I closed my eyes and concentrated on my thoughts, as if to tug at something stuck in the edges of my head. I remembered the conversation we just had. Still autoing. Pilot? Manually piloted? Why don't you just let Sora do it for us?
水中じゃ電波は届かないでしょ。
Can't get a signal underwater, can't you? We're gonna have to do without life forms. Can't get a signal underwater. Ah.
どうしたのよ、いきなり。びっくりするじゃない。
What's the matter with you, Kirinar? You startled me. You, I thought you couldn't ride the Kashmir Wall. Huh?
そりゃあ、空の本体はここのコンピュータールームにあるわけだから、移動は無理ね。
Main body of Sora is here in the computer room, so it's impossible to move it. Oh, he's saying Sora can't ride the Kashmir Wall. This for some reason matters to Takeshi. So we can escape, but Sora can't?
現状そうなるわね。
Yes, she's a giant computer bolted into the facility. As it stands now, this is the part where this plot just gets really stupid. Where it just goes at crazy lengths to try to save the precious computer. You're kidding, right? Just because the engineers at Lieblich decided to make the interface avatar look real pretty. It's fake. You're kidding, right? Even Sora is one of us. Is there a way we can help Sora?
そうね。考えられる方法は2つ。
Sure, you're right. There are two ways to do this or something?
空本体のコンピューターを何とかしてコスミッシャーバルに積み込んで脱出する。
Going to load the main computer. Sora is the first character here, so I don't know why that's missing. Loading the main computer into Kashmir Shirval and get out of there. That's weird. Or and egg. Well, okay.
だけど空ぐらいの性能だと本体はスパコン並みに大きいと思うから無理よね。
The performance as good as Sora, I think the body would be as big as a supercomputer, so it'd be impossible.
もう一つはバックアップだけど、それにはバックアップするものが必要ね。
The other thing is a backup. I need something to back it up with. Okay. What do you have to back it up with?
ディスクよ。ハードディスクとか記録できるもの。
Disk, hard disk. Something that can be recorded. Well, I'm glad I know it says hard disk because it turned that ha ha into a mu, which turned it into mood disk. What, save Sora?
と思うんだけど。
Must be the information. I think. You think?
ううん。きっと私の考えすぎね。多分バックアップすれば空は助かるはずよ。
I'm just overthinking this. Maybe if I backed up Sora, maybe if I backed it up, if I did a backup, Sora would be saved. Probably you have to have another system to read the information with. Otherwise, there's no point. So there's hope. But um, in the original, you believe that Sora's computer was uninsellable. So Um, but then she figured out later that no, actually the local copy that you actually interact with is in the Himmel. But you can still the install no computer still exists, so you can use it to extract the information that you got from the disk. It's a backup of the version in Himmel, which we for some reason haven't seen yet in this remake. We haven't seen the Himmel door. I wonder if it's going to actually appear. So there is hope. And you knew everything about where Sora was there then as well. Thank goodness. I agree wholeheartedly. But they have to find the computer room, which in the original was behind the Himmel door. It's not enough that only Sora can't be saved. Can be saved, we must all be saved.
それじゃあ空のバックアップの方法私が調べておくわ。
Then I'll find out how to do. Then I'll find out how to find an empty backup. I'll look into it. So the original, there's two backups. One of them Yoiki produced out of we don't know where he got it, and the second one just so happened to be in a hole in the floor. Literally. It was underneath a floor tile. I'll leave that to you. I'll take care. I'm going to take care of the troublesome things in front of me. That is your food. I stood up holding the print in front of me.
みんな準備はいい？
Okay, so it's actually the maintenance manual and pilot manual, not the. Wait, it literally did not grab any of that. Oh, there we go. Not the food. Are you guys ready?
はい、隊長。
Yes. Captain.
翔ちゃん隊員、ピピ隊員、そして荷物運びのタケピョンくん。ほいじゃ出発。
Okay, well, the kid, Pee-Pee, Takepyon. What? The crew people, I guess. Here we go. Tsugumi is oddly not mentioned. Tsugumi's just gonna pop up at some point. Because it's only day 5, though, this has to fail miserably. They do go because we have to go down to IBF in the afternoon of day 5.
こっちにありました。
Accidentally skipped. I skipped one line though. Not a big deal. Ah, it's on auto. Why? Stop autoing. So with Coco leading the way, we set out in search for repair parts for Kashmir Vol. I still don't understand this. Wasn't the Kashmir Vol just like gone? I don't get it. What? Whatever. Wasn't it gone? Why are we trying to repair it now? Wasn't it gone? I'm confused. I'm really confused. Did these two people take it and leave and it's gone? I thought they were going to use a different submarine they called Jonathan. Maybe Jonathan's a backup Kashmir Vault. It's the first time I noticed that you actually can get like ghostly sprites like leaking through the backlog background. Like you can get Coco blinking back here. Anyway. My corn is fused. This is not making sense. Why'd you have to auto? But why am I the captain? And with this question in mind, I pushed the cart with the rattling cart, to push the cart with a rattle, okay? Okay, the kid says, "Stop. It was over there." What's going on? Like, this is really bothering me. I have to just keep going, but for the record, I'm really bothered that I don't know whether or not Kashmir Vol is broken or whether or not some people took it and left. Because last time I checked, people got in the submarine and left with it, and it's no longer there, period. And they're trying to fix a different submarine than Kashmir Vol called Jonathan. I keep calling it Kashmir. It's not pronounced Kashmir, but I keep saying that because I don't speak German. It's like Kashmir, right? Kashmir. It's auto. I always have to deal with the auto for the rest of the session because I can't figure out how to turn the auto off. There's an auto off button, but it doesn't work. I click it and it doesn't turn anything off. We arrived at the warehouse and looked for parts that were in the on the repair list. You probably don't know what the auto is. The auto is like the translator thing automatically going without me clicking the button. Okay. You don't see like the buttons because I don't have them on the screen capture, so you probably might be confused by what I'm being mad at, but whatever. Or not whatever. The inside is full of motors, lights, cables, and various other parts. Unfortunately, the new units needed for repairs were organized and number controlled, so finding them was relatively easy. This right here is units. Is unit right here. You can tell that. This is probably reading the parts list. Is going to have a hard time translating it because the parts list. Did the OCR take a Arabic numeral and actually not put a circle around it? That's a miracle. TM0 unit. There it is. Yeah, basically. Captain, the last of the parts have been found.
よくやったタケピョンくん。
Well done, Takepyon.
これで全部揃ったの？
Wait, is Coco the captain or is Takepyon the captain? I'm confused. Is this all you have? Is this all we need or whatever? I'll check the list. We're missing like one part or something, and the only way to get is to go to a specific place. We have to go across another flooded room or something. I've got this. Well, that was a mistranslate. Okay, so it's I got this, I got this, I got this. As in I got, but then we have this last part here. Yeah, it looks like we've got everything. Oh, okay, never mind.
また一つ謎が解明され、一つの冒険が終わった。しかし、
Another mystery solved, another adventure ended. Now that all the repair parts have been gathered, Coco's adventure game seems to be coming to a close.
世界の謎が絶えるその日まで、我々の冒険は終わらない。
Until the day the mysteries of the world cease, our adventures will never end. Suddenly, Coco's body wobbles. Here we go. Tsugumi's not here to... What? I panic and prop Coco up. Maybe there'll be like a slow progression of this. So it won't be like Coco suddenly falls super ill and Tsugumi's not there to witness it and Sora's not there to witness it. It's like Tsugumi's not here to suggest IBF yet. Is Coco okay? Is what this question is going to be. Well, okay. Is Coco okay?
ここちょこっと調子悪いかも。
Yeah, I think I might be a little out of sorts. Yeah, you'll be coughing up blood pretty soon. Put my hand on Coco's forehead. It felt a little feverish. So he's talking to the kid. Kid, take Coco to the first aid room. I guess that's what they're calling it. And tell you she's probably in the control room. Can you call you and have her take a look at her? I'm bringing in the parts, and I'm gonna fix the submarine.
わかった。任せて。それじゃあ、ここ行こう。
I'll take care of it. Let's go then. Let's go then, Coco. Coco was taken by the boy and left the warehouse. The mutual probably comes from this misinterpreted kanji here. Maybe she's just tired. She ain't tired, Takeshi, because I know the spoilers. Anyway, I'm worried about Coco too. So we need to get this mess out of here as soon as possible. This mess, you say? Push the cart loaded with repair parts out of the maintenance room. Or from the maintenance room. Can't be like to the maintenance room. Yeah, this is different. This is a different submarine than the one shown in the brochure for Kajmisherval. They keep calling it that. It also looks like a whale too, though. Honestly, there was a whale. There's a whale on a moving rail, like a catapult. I don't know what that's supposed to be. Is this our last hope? This hatch here looks pretty small. Anyway. Cherval, a submersible in the shape of a whale with a smooth, streamlined shape. Maybe it's like a backup of Cosmicherval. Anyway. There is no screw, and the water taken in from the water inlet is ionized and propelled by a jet of water flow with a superconducting magnet. By no screw, I presume they mean no propeller, even though in this I see a propeller. So, what? I looked at the whale with emotion and then looked around. The maintenance room was larger than a townhouse, about the size of a small hangar. It's known as a condominium. Bar car is stocked with everything from large tools to precision tools, and drums of gas, oil, and fuel for welding are also visible. It's like, if only Tsugumi were here to do this stuff for me. Now let's get started. So everyone knows how to weld in Japan. Something I would kind of wish I knew how to do, but then again, the projects that I would do with welding, I wouldn't have time to do, so I would never use it anyway. Let me make sure that the whale's not covered in the. Yeah, okay, good. Like the part of the scene that's covered by the translation window of my screen capture is just more of the same ceiling grid, so nothing's lost there. But just so, I'll show you. See, just more ceiling grid. Push the dolly towards my last hope. Or our last hope. Yeah, reading the maintenance manual, which is sometimes not very useful. Remove engine from car. Next in, open the exterior panel 7 and replace unit C10. Stuff like that. I've finished replacing the internal unit. I next set about repairing the external one. Ain't gonna totally mess this up. But you're lucky you're not in the middle of an overhaul. Oh, we're lucky it wasn't in the middle of an overhaul. This is enough for me. This is enough for one person to enter. Okay. This is enough for one person to do. So it's not too much for one person to do, as I presume is that what that's supposed to mean. But for some reason, Tsugumi, who seems to be the first to arrive at such times, has not shown up this time. I was wondering the same thing. Well, there's no welding or anything like that, so that's good. But what is she doing where, basically?
たけし、調子はどう？手伝いに来たよ。
Keshi, how are you doing? I'm here to help you. Just as I was thinking about Tsugumi, the boy who had taken Koku to the first aid room came back. Boy, how is Coco doing?
うん。今は薬を飲んでベッドで休んでるよ。ユウに見てもらったら風邪かもしれないって。
Now I'm drinking tea and rest. Oh, Coco. Now she is drinking tea and resting in bed. You checked me out and said I might have a cold. Or checked her out and said she might have a cold. Depends on the context. I presume it's actually she because, well, there's a she in the first sentence that didn't get translated. Probably because of this kanji right here. Cold.
どうしたの、たけし？何か気になることでもあるの？
Sometimes colds are really bad. What's wrong, Takeshi? Is there something on your mind? No, it's nothing. Well, there are medical scans in the first aid room, and if we are seen there, if you are seen there, it's probably just a cold. Right, if the scan... maybe that's the savage of the scan doesn't recognize deep blue. So if they have her there, then she probably ran a scan, and it probably just said just a cold. Well...
それで僕に手伝えることってある？
Is there anything I can do to help? Boku oddly being written out here, as opposed to there's actually a kanji for Boku, I believe. If wondering what Boku means, it means I, but it's like said by men, so it's like the kid would say Boku. Why don't you help me open up the exterior panel now? And now I know that this means open.
オッケー。
Okay. I don't need to translate okay, do I? I used an electric screwdriver to unfasten the panel. Too lazy to hand crank? Okay, let's open it up. I'll go through the details, like these pseudo details that the writer didn't even think about but had to write stuff. I lifted the panel. It's pretty heavy. Boy, I lifted it up, so give me a stick inside and let me fix the panel. What? This line of dialogue is not important, so I'm going to let it slide.
わかった。
These details are not important. I got it. Okay, fix now. Me, the boy, and I worked together to replace the unit. Come on, Deepal, where's your grammar? Me and the boy, really? Me is an object pronoun. If we got rid of the boy, it would be me worked to replace the unit. That doesn't make any sense, right? You don't say me work to replace the unit. You say I work to replace the unit. Anyway. I said like me and other person a lot when I was a kid. I now understand why it's like not correct, but it's funny that the translator would translate. The translator would do that translation. It's supposed to translate into like correct English, not like wrong English. Now let's connect the cable and go to. Okay, let's close the panel. That sounded like a close. Panel closes with a loud slam or a loud bang, one or the other. Then I tightened the screws and secured the panel. Okay, we're all fixed.
やったね、たけし。
Now let's see if it turns on. You did it, Takeshi. No, we don't know. We don't know if it turns on or not. Gotta make sure. We don't know if it's gonna post. Yay!
イエーイ。
Exactly. I guess there's no Y in Japanese. To make the Y, they go yay. I raised my hand palm up and I high-fived the boy, basically. But like, one of those high fives where one person goes up and the other person goes down. Now the rest is up to you. I have to get the submarine out of the dock and into the ocean. I turned from the repair manual to the startup manual. Missing work inspections. External visual checks of naval vessels. This area is a pain in the butt, and I guess I can pass on it. Bureaucratic BS to start with. Signed into the cockpit and turn the startup manual again. What is it? Check the switches and the play. The monitor is completely black. Play car was supposed to be this, but that wasn't important. Casually looking at the analog meter of the remaining battery capacity. I'm gonna find it really low. Okay. At least there's a meter. At least he's gonna check it. Like the original, where just like, we didn't check. 0 battery left. Let's see. That sounds kind of like reference to the original, but a lot of different concepts. You see, you need to charge the battery. How do you charge the battery? Then, staring at the start manual, I somehow find a way to charge the battery. And it's gonna say, it's gonna take this many hours to charge, isn't it? Yes. I opened the external charging panel, held the thick power plug cables with the boy and somehow managed to rough it in. Basically, I crudely plugged the thing in. Push. So it's like pull. I forgot what this is. Push. It's probably push. Here, but whatever. I turn on the charging device. It's hooked up to the generator, hopefully, which is working. Charging light comes on. Now I have to wait. Well, all I have to do is wait for the battery to fill up, which we'll find out takes forever. And it turned into the ba battery because this ba turned into a ba pa. Charging system had a safety device, perhaps to prevent overcharging, and the battery charging could not be stopped midway. Why? All other battery chargings can be stopped midway. That's the most contrived, plot convenient delay tactic ever. The charging process cannot be stopped midway. That's really. The charging section of the manual stated that it could take approximately 24 hours to finish charging. Which means, oh, we have to stall some more. This is how we will stall till the next day. Looking at the cell phone, my cell phone, which has turned into a mere clock, there's a message. 12:17 is displayed. So noon tomorrow, noon on the 6th is when it will be done. And yeah, that's about right. That's about right for the other submarine. Time remaining until the end of charge, 24 hours. The time limit for the collapse is approximately 42 hours and 43 minutes. I'm still not going to cut it as close this time. Time difference is 18 hours and 43 minutes. So this doesn't work. You have 18 hours to think of something else. I think I'm going to manage it. So I'll be able to find a place for you. Okay. So 24 more hours of stall. Me and the boy headed over to tell you that the repairs were done. But it was 24 hours for the thing to charge up. And Sora is AWOL. And Tsugumi's also AWOL. Come to think of it, did you find a way to back up Sora? Or did she find a way to back up Sora? she is still struggling with the computer, getting into the whatever she's doing, trying to get into the classified information, which, and originally you'd think she would have been really deep into by this point. When I entered the control room, I heard your strange voice.
まったくまったくまったくも
Okay, Matekama, whatever that means.
うなんでいっつもこれが出るわけ
Why do I get this all the time?
該当する項目が見つかりませんでしたって別のワードをお試しくださいって
Match found. Please try another word. Oh,
本
she's
当
still
に
trying
確一的
passwords.
なことばっかり同じことしか言えんのかいあんたはオウムかお役所か
Yeah, in the original, she would have gotten deep into it at this point. I don't know how. We don't know how. 'Cause she does it all off screen. You're all the same. You can't say anything else. Are you a parrot or a bureaucrat?
そう上等じゃないこうなったら視点を変えてあさっての方向から攻めてやるんだからね
Yes, most web developers do not put in, or just whatever system developers, do not put in random creative messages to give you when you type in the wrong password. Usually, every single time, it just tells you typed in the wrong password. Yes, that's great. Now I'm going to change my point of view and attack it from another direction. Hey, you! I was afraid to speak to you, who was ranting at the terminal. It would be even funnier if they named the character Thou. The problem is that it's really hard to do because they don't have dental fricatives in Japanese. If I just lost you there, dental fricative, by dental fricative, I refer to the s or the sound. What you need for thou, or s, archaic thou. I already
う
translated
る
that.
さいわね何よ
Shut up. What?
蔵なりじゃない
Isn't Kurinari, is that you? Kurinari, I presume. For now, work over. I finished repairing the Kajmisherval.
そうよかったこれでやっと脱出できるのね
Good. We can finally get out of here. He's gonna break the bad news. If that can be translated. I have some internet issues right now for various reasons. There might be someone nearby doing a video chat. Some sort of chat. It's having a real. Oh, there we go. We're having a really hard time with that. The battery was dead, so we can't get out of here right now. Still, we should be able to get out of here by this time tomorrow.
そうなんだでもタイムリミットには間に合ったわけね
See, but you made the time limit, didn't you?
蔵なりそれに少年も本当に潜水艇の修理お疲れ様
I mean, I don't care. It's more time for me to type random passwords into the computer. Kurinari and the boy too. Really, thank you for repairing the submarine. I just realized that it's a true submarine instead of a submersible. So this could be a true sub. You said this with a gentle smile as she peeked at the boy behind me. The boy replied, a little embarrassed. Okay, they're hinting at this. However, this particular iteration of the kid is not actually Yu's love interest. Unless he does become Yu's love interest in the future, but there was no suggestion of it. No, because he was chasing after Sora in the end, right? Yeah. So he wasn't. Okay. But whatever. The boy really did a great. Maybe they're just trying to like disguise the boys and make them kind of seem kind of. Anyway, the boy really did a great job. Also, Coco and Pee did a great job. Oh, by the way, how's Coco doing?
少し熱があるみたいだったから薬をあげて寝かしたけど風邪かしらね。
This kanji again. She had a bit of a fever, so I gave her tea and put her to bed. Is it a cold? Is it a cold? I think it's the common cold or the cold. Did you not examine her properly? Oh, we're gonna say that the scanner's broken in Dirte stock. There's a question mark in here, so it's not an I think. It's a cold question.
今レミ、ここのメインコンピューターってまだメンテナンス中なのよね。だから医療スキャンをしても診断できないの。診断するのはレミだから。
Oh, it's not okay. So it's not what do you call it? What is the word I'm trying to say? Modular. Limit is not modular, so when it goes down, the whole thing goes down. Okay. The main computer here is still under maintenance, so I can't diagnose her with a medical scan. Because it's Lemay who does the diagnosing. This is called a very bad design. When does it end?
ちょっと待って。えーっ今85%だから、あと1時間くらいじゃないかしら。
Okay, so it's 85% complete, which means it'll end in 25 over 85 times how long it's been doing it, approximately. But the translator's having a hard time with that. Oh, because it's a percent. Oh yeah, every time I do a percent, DeepL chokes. I can't translate this line because it has a percent sign in it, and DeepL can't do percent signs. I guess I can get the first. I'm gonna try chopping it up, but I can only chop it up so much. Wait a minute. Well, okay. We'll have to wait, and then we'll grab this part, which is not in the probably can go in the middle of a word if Japanese allows that. So that's a problem. In an hour or so. Doesn't pick up. Okay, so probably something like it'll be done in an hour or so because it's 85% complete. Okay. Need to fix that thing with percent signs in DeepL. With like Textractor, you can do something you can like filter, so you can like filter out the percent sign. You can't do that with the OCR as far as I can tell. There might be a way, I just don't know it. You said looking at the lower counter on the SAP monitor that said under maintenance. Okay, so I'm in a situation where I'm going to have a hard time. I'm going to have to like tone my audio way down. So I'm going to go check and see if I can deal with that situation because I'm just in a situation where I can't be loud. So um, I'll pause and come back, and I might end abruptly after I come back if I can't resolve it. Okay, no, this actually was not a real situation. Okay, I can keep going. Okay, so same line. No, I hope it's just cold.
そうね。ここの医療システム、レム ARV にも限界があるし。
Yes, the medical systems here, the LEMARV has its limitations.
わあ、クワバラクワバラ。
Wabara, whatever that means. What's the matter? What's going on?
演技直しよ演技直し。本当は雷を避ける言葉だけど、怖い時に使うのよ。
It's a good omen. So it's really a word to ward off lightning, but we use it when we're afraid. Oh, is she explaining what the previous translation meant? Okay. So I'm guessing this Bio-Chinese character here means lightning, because the one for electricity is like this one but with a tail.
クワバラクワバラ。
You teaches me Japanese. The boy, so you say kuwabara when you want to ward off lightning. I will forget that. The boy imitated Yu's words and chanted a mysterious spell. Tell you what. Whatever. Kawabara, Kawabara. Okay.
他にも、夢になれ夢になれっていうとか、クソくらいってのもあるわよ。
Other times they say be a dream or suck it up. That's more appropriate for the situation we're in right now.
そうね。
I guess so.
はあ。
Ha. Ha. Sighed at the same time and then laughed as if we were in trouble. So we found a way to back up Sora. Okay, so empty backup didn't mean way back then like an empty disk. It meant backup Sora. Sometimes the sky is translated as empty by DeepL.
そうそう。それよ。それが変なのよ。
That's it, that's it, that's weird, huh? What? What changed?
空のいる場所、コンピュータールームなんだけど、
Where Sora is, it's a computer room.
マップを調べて分かったんだけど、ここの施設内にはコンピュータールームってどこにも存在しないのよね。
Checked the map and found there is no computer room anywhere in the facility. Right, because the computer room is behind the Himmel door, which is not on the map. Well, what does that mean?
さあ、私にもわからないわ。
I don't know.
空のこと、コンピュータールームのことを調べようとすると、該当する項目が見つかりませんでしたって出ちゃうのよ。
This reference, I think this watashi right here, that means I. That's like actually the first person singular subject pronoun, which You're learning a new language you really want to learn immediately. But what about Boku? That's another one. There's actually two. Yay. When I try to look up Sora or computer room, I get a no applicable entry found. You need to look up Himmel. Fortunately, that's the same as Sora because it's just German. You need to type German, not Japanese. You mean you don't know what's going on? There's nothing we can do about it. How about asking Sora directly? She knows more about Lemur. I should be able to read this. Re, this is Ru. Okay, Ru, Mi, this is you. Mu, Remu, Wa. So it is you. Okay, then not Lemur, it's Lemu. So more about Lemu than we do. Maybe together we could find some way to do it.
さすがにそれは無理かも。簡単に調べられないってことは、簡単には教えないってこと。きっとトップシークレットの情報なのよ。
Fact that you simply can't look it up means that it's not easy to tell. It's not easy for her to tell you. It's top secret information. Top secret? I can read that at least.
そう、トップシークレット。
Yes, top secret.
多分、空って最新式でしょ？だから、おいそれと公開できない機密のテクノロジーなんてものが含まれているのよ。
Sora is probably state of the art, so she contains a lot of technology that can't be easily disclosed to the public. This is the technology right here. I'm just reading things. Sorry.
だから、たとえ空が教える気になったとしても、金属事項に引っかかって空がフリーズしちゃう可能性もあるわ。
So even if Sora is willing to teach, there is a chance that she will get caught up in the prohibitions and freeze up. It's probably this right here, freeze. Like it's literally like borrowed the word borrowed freeze. Which means that's interesting. So Japanese don't actually use the Japanese word for to freeze to describe when a computer freezes. They actually use the English word. That's weird. Prohibited freeze.
やっちゃいけない規則ってこと。もし規則を破ろうとしたら、空より上の権限を持つレミが停止プログラムをかけて空を強制的に止めちゃうってわけね。
If you try to break the rules, Lemire, who has authority over Sora, will apply a shutdown program and force Sora to stop. Well, then how does she reveal IBF then? She figures out a way around it somehow. So, is there a way to help Sora? The original Sora could bust through. It was possible.
ひょっとしたらだけど、空は助ける必要がないっていうか、もう助かっているって可能性も出てきたわ。
She would just tell people she liked that IBF was a thing, despite it being top secret. If it were possible, but Sora doesn't need to be saved. I mean, there's a possibility that she's already been saved. Yeah?
マップにコンピュータールームが載っていないってことは、空はここにいないってことにならないかしら。
Computer room is not on the map. Doesn't that mean Sora is not here? You're so wrong, you. I don't think so because Sora's with us and we weren't talking to her.
それは外部センサーやシステムがつながっているからで、要は目や耳や口を含めた体はこの施設の中にあるけど、頭はここにないってことよ。
That's because the external sensors and systems are connected to it. It means that the body, including the eyes, ears, and mouth, is inside the facility, but the head is not here. Yeah, but how do they communicate in and out if all the communication lines are cut? Eh? The body of Sora is here, the head is not? I think they mean brain. Brain and head are translated, use the same word. That's confusing. Well, I heard Sora the troll say that if you say big brain to a Japanese person, if you try to say that in Japanese, it'll sound like big face. The image of necklace Sora almost appears in my head. I'll get rid of that image before I draw it. Okay.
何変な想像してんのよ。空の本体、コンピューター別の場所にあるかもしれないって言っているのよ。
Takeshi demonstrating his inability to think in abstract ways. What are you imagining? I'm saying that the main body is Sora, as Sora, the computer, could be somewhere else. I see what you're saying. Did you know what I was imagining?
コンピューターは別の場所。会場のインゼルヌルにある可能性が高いわね。
Computers are elsewhere. It is most likely located in Incel Null. The computer is elsewhere, anyway. I need to figure out how to pronounce Incel. So it sounds like, something different than what it sounds like. What? You're saying that the lines of the ocean are intertwined? Oh, what? That Sora says there is no contact with the sea. That's what's weird. Yeah. Right. She says there's no communication out of Lemur. So if that's the case, how could she be somewhere else?
そうよね。でも、空がそれを自覚してない場合も考えられるわ。
That's true, but it's conceivable that Sora may not even be aware of it.
まあ人間だって本当の自分自身と言える心や意識がどこにあるかなんてアリストテレスのイデア論、プリグラムのホログラフィックモデルとかいろいろな考えが出てくるくらいだから。
Even human beings have various ideas about their mind and the consciousness that our true self is, such as Aristotle's idea theory, a holographic model of programs.
自覚なんてないでしょ。
You don't even know you're doing it. You don't even know who you are. It's like, where is Sora? Where is she?
誰かに見られることによって初めてそこに存在しているんだなって。
Talked over that line by accident. I messed up. It's only when someone sees me that I am present.
誰も見ていなければ私はそこに存在していないんだなって。
I can try again with this because that white background is washing me out. Because it's a flashback background, but because it's a flashback, you already know what this says. So it doesn't really matter if it gets translated wrong. No one is looking at me, I don't exist.
私の存在は倉成さんが感じている私の存在はミラージュで作られた視覚情報です。
This is the hard line that I couldn't get right last time. Not gonna get it this time. Okay, well, they still do it right. Okay. The existence that Kurosanari saw and feels is visual information created by Mirage.
私は 拡張現実で作られたデータ世界と現実世界の狭間に存在しているのです。
An interface between an interface between the data world and the real world created by augmented reality.
その存在さえ幻影なのかもしれませんが。
Even that existence may be an illusion. Where is Sora? It's kind of frustrating if somebody's already played the original because I know what the answers to this stuff is. Between the real world. Okay. Because it messed up its character. So this is, I believe this, so let me try this. I believe this is who. So little lines make it into boo. This is Ray, I think. I think it's an R1. It's elongated in wa, elongated rudo. So this is, so last part is warudo. Brenwarudo. Can't do it. I don't know. Maybe if I can isolate it. Should be not plain world, should be Blaine world. What's Blaine world? Brain world. There we go. Okay. So brain world. There we go. And then this is the computer world, right? Cyberspace. Yeah. Okay. Computer world, brain world. Stop autoing. Where is it? Brain world. Something.
へえ、クラナリの口からブレインワールドって言葉が出てくるなんて驚きだわ。
Okay, well, you said it, so now I know it's brain world because she said brain world. The word brain world is coming out of Coronari's mouth. I don't know the full meaning, but Sora said something like that before. What's that? The brain world.
そうね、説明すると、超ひも理論を矛盾なく成立するには、10次元、11次元の時空が必要なわけよ。
I'm sure you're right. To explain, in order for the whatever it is supposed to be theory to be consistent, we need a space-time dimension 10 and 11. Wow, we're getting into supersymmetric string theory here. Oh, brain world. Oh, string theory. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, string theory. So it's not super pimp theory. It's string theory.
でも、人間のようなマクロ生物が認識できるのは、縦、横、高さ、時間の広がりを持つ4次元時空まで。
Macroorganisms such as humans can perceive up to 4 dimensions, space-time, which is length, width, height, and time.
認識できないけど、あると仮定すると、 重力子やクオークなんか。
I don't recognize it, but I assume that there are gravitons, quarks. Gravitons, now that's really going somewhere. We don't know for certain there's such a thing as a graviton. Um, although it would be convenient if there was to some people.
って、クラナリ、何バカみたいに口をあんぐり開けてんのよ。
Furnari, why are you opening your mouth like a paka? What? Like whatever this is supposed to be? Oh, it's supposed to be baka. Why are you opening your mouth up like a baka? I'm sorry to ask, but maybe it's just confusing, so I don't want to.
それなら、この世界は高次元空間から見ると無数にあるブレーン、膜の一枚に見えるってことよ。
Then it means that this world appears to be one of countless brains, membranes from the viewpoint of higher dimensional space.
だからこの膜世界とは別の膜世界が存在する。これがブレーンワールドね。
So there's another membrane world to this membrane world, and this is the brain world. It's a parallel universe.
そう考えてもいいけど、パラレルワールドって言ったら。
Pretty sure string theory does not predict parallel universes, though, so this is a stretch of the idea of string theory, but whatever. Because most people don't know anything about string theory. You can do anything what you want with it, they'll be like, whoa, whatever. The only thing I know, understand about string theory is, you take a Feynman diagram and you make it into loops as opposed to sticks. It's really hard for me to... I somehow managed to get an A in, basic quantum electrodynamics. But I don't know how. I didn't get any of it. You could think of it that way, but when I say parallel worlds, I mean...
他にも観測っていうか、量子学的な選択肢の可能性だけ宇宙が枝分かれしていく多世界解釈とか。
I mean, other observations, like the many worlds interpretation in which the universe branches out into only the possibilities of quantum choices, which is somehow something to do with my conscious mental choices that I'm making, do I stop Tsugumi or not, which are not random, even though quantum choices are.
インフレーション宇宙の無料宇宙とかパラレルワールド設定はいろいろあるけどね。
It's like this horrible misuse of Schrodinger's cat all over again. There are all sorts of parallel worlds, settings such as the inflation universe's immeasurable universe, whatever. Basically, settings. There's nothing to do with inflation. Inflation is a band-aid on the Big Bang. What's the setup? Despite my dismay, you continues her story. I'm not sure if it's a good idea or not.
多分空は自分のいる電脳空間をブレーンワールドって言い換えて、人間には認識できない世界に自分はいるって言いたかったんじゃないのかな。
So super pimp theory was super string. Okay. Super symmetric string. Which whoever wrote this had no idea what that even meant, any concept of it. Okay. Maybe Sora was trying to say that she was in a world that humans could not perceive by saying that the cyberspace she was in was called the brain world. What? Okay. The cartoon physics is killing me. Oh, by the way, that guy in the sky, I think he called me a string or something at the time. Okay, so, by the way, Sora, I think she called me a pimp or something. But what is it translating to pimp, though? I need to figure out what this pimp is, because I thought pimp was string. But It definitely doesn't mean pimp.
へえ、あんた空に金銭とか貢がせてるんだ。
You're giving money to Sora, aren't you? Why not? Except because this is Deep L, we're going to inject a hell into it. But it didn't really translate this to you're giving money to Sora. Or should it just be like you're hanging out with her or something? What? I'll try for continue on this conversation. See if I can pick out what this is supposed to be, because you're giving money to Sora, and then Takeshi responding, "Why not?" is kind of weird.
冗談よ。だけどブレーンワールドってこの世界の現象で他世界との干渉つながりがなければ説明できないことを証明するために誕生した理論よ。
Just kidding. But the brain world is is a theory that was created to prove that the phenomena in this world cannot be explained without inference or connections to other worlds. Wait, so is it literally pimp? What?
他世界との干渉つながりそれを空は紐って例えたのよ。
Wait. If someone who actually knows Japanese better than me, as some way to explain this, is the word is string theory in Japanese literally referred to as pimp theory? I don't even know what a pimp is. Is a pimp someone who I don't know, whatever. Sora is the inference and connection to the rest of the world, which Sora likened to a string. Right, now it's saying string. It's true that there is a bond between all of us, even though we can't see it.
蔵なりうまいこと言うじゃない。
Not that kind of string. Kurinari, you say it so well. That's not the right kind of string. How can the string be between you if it's only a plank length long? I'm gonna try to relate this to Strings of Fate. You changed your mind a little?
はいはい。
Yes.
まあそれはさておきネットワークが生きているなら地上と連絡が取れても良さそうなもんだけど。
Well, that's beside the point. If the network is alive, we should be able to contact the ground. I'll just go with it. It's probably wrong.
二次災害を恐れて見放されたかな。
Did they give up on us for fear of a second disaster? Oh, basically, it's supposed to be the surface. Okay. We've been abandoned? Still, it'd be nice to at least hear from them.
望みのない希望は与えるなってことかもね。
Just call them and say, we abandoned you. Just make it straight. Maybe we shouldn't give up hope. And despair, right? Or whatever. Then we can escape on our own. Hope is not something that can be given. It's something you have to take hold of. Hope has no meaning to me. Besides, if it keeps Sora safe, it doesn't matter.
そうね。
Yeah.
さてと、ちょっと煮詰まってきたから、私は深海温泉でリフレッシュしてくるかな。
I'm getting a little sad and stuffed up, so I think I'll go to the hot spring and freshen up. Stuffed up? That Yu took her seat, got out of her seat, and left the room. Eldon, boy, we're gonna have lunch, aren't we? Perhaps bored by our conversation, the boy crouched on the floor. I wouldn't squat in public, but that's me. What's wrong, boy? You don't look so good.
クワバラクワバラ
Okay, so he's doing use chant. He's coming down with the sickness too. Suddenly, the boy shouted a mysterious incantation. What do you have in mind?
うん。だけど、演技直しもしたし、もう大丈夫だよね。
Yes, I've also restored your good fortune, so you're good to go too, right? That's fine. Sure. I and the boy, there we go, now it's saying I, so it's usually say the boy and I, headed to the concession stand to get some food. Which happens to be the gift shop. After entering the souvenir shop, we picked up the shopping baskets near the entrance and put what we wanted to eat in each basket. Is it over now, boy?
うん。
The basket held by the boy was filled with dried nuts, jams, frozen citrus, and other fruit items. Once outside the store, the boy with the basket started running. Where are you going, boy?
ここのとこ。ここにもご飯が必要でしょ
Coco needs to eat. I thought about following the boy, but in the end I decided to leave him. Because the boy's face was desperate. Take care of Coco. The boy as he ran off. Youth. Those are the words that came to mind. After we finished eating together, I decided to tell Tsugumi that the repairs were done. Well, but where is she? I called out for Sora to ask her to look for Tsugumi, but she didn't show up. She's still under maintenance? I think it had been more than an hour since I heard about the maintenance time. I'll find her on my own. This is definitely wrong, but we'll see. After leaving Ritsugumi, I went to check the status of Dutescop's escape pods. As background is so white. I wanted to see with my own eyes. These rooms are going to be important at some point. After all, there is none. I knew there was no such thing, but I was even more disappointed when I found out. Think back to what you said earlier. It's probably close enough, even though that got extra kanji in there. Maybe it's about not giving hope to the hopeless, or is it? Is it true that hope without hope is like despair? Well, yes, absence of hope is usually called despair. Except we usually don't use that word. It's kind of a rare word, so when you translate something from Japanese, you end up using despair a lot more often than you would otherwise. Yeah, I'm going to... Sure you are. What? I'm not going to read that out loud. I'm feeling a little vulnerable right now. So I gotta get a hold of myself. Even though this last thing turned into a now, but definitely be saved. Maybe you're feeling a little bit, I wouldn't say vulnerable, you're feeling a little bit hopeless, right? That's the word we use hopeless instead of despair. I was walking around in a daze when I reached a place that looked like a departure, an arrival pool of some kind of vehicle. Just because to deal with more of these really deeply white backgrounds, I'd make it a little bit more discriminatory here. Okay. It's going automatically. I hate that. Okay. I saw a translucent, some kind of creature-like vehicle. Well, I can't. Good for you, Takeshi. I can see it on the sign. Anyway, where am I? You are at Quale. You've already been here in your long date with Sora. Why are you as questioning this? I let a soliloquy spill out of my mouth.
配れ。
I don't think it was long enough for it to be a soliloquy, but anyway. So what is Tsugumi says? Ku. Wait, what's wa with the double? Was that with the modifier? Well, let's see what the translator makes out of that. No, what's gonna mess it up? Oh, kuvare. There's Takeshi respond to that. Same word. Oh, quale. Quale. Quale? Is this gonna happen? Oh, they're gonna do it, but they're gonna do it like not in the middle of the night. You mean the jellyfish gondola? A voice that told me this sounded familiar. Yes, it did. I turned around and saw Tsugumi standing there. Ah, Tsugumi, there you are. I've been looking for you.
私に何の用なの？
What do you want from me? What do you want from me? Why don't you run from me? Anyway, good news. The repairs on the Kashmir Cheval are done. The battery is not recharged yet, but this time tomorrow, we will be out of here.
そう。
Tsugumi's like, so? I don't know. I don't really want to be out of here, really, if you want to be honest with you, because I'm here on this mission, and if I get out of here, my mission will be aborted. I wonder what would happen at one point. Wonder what would happen at one point. But if you don't give up hope and don't give up, you can make it work. Well, okay.
そうね。
Okay. Yes. Huh. Then she left Sumi crossed in front of me and heads for Quale as if ignoring me. Can you ride that thing, Tsugumi?
それって、クバレのこと？クラゲ型水中カプセルのゴンドラよ。
I don't understand. Didn't they ride this? Didn't he ride this with Sora before? Like, he knows it's functioning. Why is he asking her? So I guess it's something like, uh, so Tsute. Okay, I can't read this word, but it probably doesn't matter. So, actually, I think this. So the or I keep forgetting. So two lines makes a smiley face. That's she or two, right? One of them, the one that's more lying down is this is the more vertical one. I forget what it is though. I guess it is so, just by going off of the sorute. So tsute. I don't know. It's a jellyfish shaped underwater capsule.
通常運用はオペレーターがいないから無理だけど、整備モードなら中からでもコントロールができるわ。
Home operation is impossible because there's no operator, but in maintenance mode you can control it from inside.
だけど、外周に構築されたチューブの中を水流に乗って移動するだけのもの。ここからの脱出には使えないわね。
Oh, so you can ride it if you have Sora. Is that they're going to fill the hole? But then how would Takeshi know that? Takeshi would just assume it works. But it's just a tube built around the perimeter that you can ride the water current through, and you can't use it to get out of here. Unless you break the tube, of course. Tsugumi says this and tries to get into the jellyfish-shaped underwater capsule. He's gonna let her go? It's Tsugumi gonna ride the Quale?
ええ。絶望を探しにね。
I'm looking for despair. What? Let me try that again. That's what it says. Then she's gonna be like, despair? What's that? Well, it's like despair. Despair? Despair gonna eat you. Stunned for a moment, and then Tsugumi disappeared into the quale. Quale moved out of the catapult as it glided and disappeared into the gate. The scene isn't completely cut, it's just truncated. It happens way later. Okay. Feeling somewhat of a headache, I came to the infirmary to check on Coco and have some tea, I guess, or something like that. Have some rest. Whatever. It's not important. That word's not important. I could not see Coco, who was supposed to be sleeping in bed. I knew it was just a cold, nothing serious. I'm sure it's nothing serious. Okay, I took a nap with that thought in mind or something. I know this kanji here is messed up. Turned it into a Wookiee. I entered the control room. I heard Yu's strange voice. I'm gonna try to backlog that, see if I can get a better rendering. I took a headache pill with that thought in mind. Okay. So you took a anti-inflammatory.
まったくまったくまったくも
I'm trying to translate that.
うなんでいっつもこれが出るわけ
Why are you talking to yourself? Why do I get this all the time?
パスワードが違いますって。あんたは昔の冒険の書か
Password has been changed. Are you an old guest of honor?
そう、上等じゃない。こうなったら、あんたの冒険の書消してあげようかコマンド Z よ
So she got one kind of right. Yes, that's great. I'll erase your book of adventures for you. Command Z. You got a minute? It's fearful to speak to you, who is ranting and raving with a mild sense of deja vu.
うるさいわね、何よ
Shut up. Wait.
クラナリじゃない
Minari? How's it going? Have you made some progress?
うーん
Yu shakes her head slowly. I went to the monitor and pounded the keys with both hands like a paver. What? Like a piano.
パスワードさえ発見できればね
If only I could find the password. Password? What's a password?
プロテクトを解くための鍵。レミのセキュリティロックを外せる緊急用の最終パスワード。
Key to unlock the security. Security lock.
それさえあれば、レミのあらゆるデータベースにアクセスすることが可能になるんだけど。
If I had that, I could access every database in the. How do you know it's just not a random character string? Do you have to go that far?
ほんとよね。普通このレベルの ID カードがあれば、大抵の情報はフリーでアクセスできるんだけど。
It's true, usually with an ID card at this level, you can access most information for free. Then you show me her ID card. Initials Tanaka U were on the ID card. Oh, but might be the different ID card.
今までゲスト ID 使ってダメだったから、端末の近くにあったこの ID カードならって思ったんだけどな。
If they only give initials, there's a reason why they only give initials, right? It's not Yu Tanaka, it's not Yubei Saiharu Kana's ID card, it's Yubei Saiharu Kana Tanaka, it's Yoiki Tanaka. I've been using guest ID and it didn't work, so I thought this ID card that I found near the terminal would work. I thought I'll just use and it happened to be YD. So they just happened to pick up Yoiki's ID card, which was sitting there. Okay.
それでも空の情報、私のお父さんの情報にはアクセスできないのよ。
So this is for sure Yoiki's ID card. Still, I don't have access to the information in Sora, my dad's information. Can't access it. Can't access her dad's information on Sora. Okay. You said before that Sora is top secret, but is your father's information also top secret?
多分開発スタッフの個人的なデータと一緒にアカウントなんかの情報も入ってるんじゃないかな。
I think it probably contains personal data on the development staff as well as information about their accounts and so on.
はあ、プロテクトを解けばそれが全部わかるはずなんだけどね。
If you unprotect it, you'll find out all about it.
見つけた ID カードだとパスワードの回数制限はないからいいんだけど。
That ID card requires a password, it appears. I found the ID card. I found that with the ID card, there's no limit to the number of times you can use the password.
キーワードでの総当たりって言っても人力じゃ限界あるのよね。
Even if you say total keyword hit, there's a limit with human power. Basically, there's no... So unlike in the original, there's no like, you've tried too many times in too rapid a succession, we're going to temporarily lock you out, which happened in the original. If I ask Sora, won't she give me that password?
さっきも言ったけど禁則事項に引っかかって空がフリーズしちゃうのがオチよ。
As I said, you'll get caught up in a no-go rule and Sora will freeze up.
だから結局肝心なこと、私の知りたいことはまだなんにも分かってないの。
So in the end, I still don't know everything I need to know. You shrugs exasperatedly.
付け焼き場の知識じゃハッキングもできないしね。
False ID. I think that's what it's supposed to be.
いや、それなりの知識ぐらいじゃ無理かしらね。
I don't know if I have enough knowledge to. I don't know if that's okay.
そもそもハードウェアも OS もシステム構成の何もかもが全然違うのよ。ノイマン型だったらまだいいんだけど。
To begin with, the hardware, OS, and everything in the system configuration is completely transitional. If it were a Neumann type, it would still be fine. Something about, well, so thanks for all your hard work.
でも、まあいいか。多分これって私のお父さんが作ったもの。一人で作ったんじゃないんだろうけど。
This is a thing my dad made. I know he didn't make it by himself.
それに触れられただけでも。
Just being able to mention it.
空のことは信じましょう。無事だって。
We can find out more about Sora. We have to believe it's safe. Okay. We can find out more about Sora. Yes, that's right. Safe means in this context. It's kind of awkwardly translated. I place my hand gently on Yu's shoulder. And leave. After parting with you, I headed to check to see if the submersible was recharging smoothly. Lamps on charging equipment were lit, and the battery meter showed a slight increase in remaining charge. Charging seemed to be going smoothly. I had to read this filler text. The plot seemed to be advancing very slowly. Okay, this one looks fine. Now we can get out of here. Well, it's done charging, that is. The rest is just a matter of Sora. Even if you want to move the unit or back it up, you can't know where we don't know where Sora. You can't know where Sora is. That's not going to translate. It's gonna because it's like, boom, boom, boom. Yeah. I shook my head violently. You also said, let's believe that Sora is safe. I'm sure Sora will be fine. I just kind of like realized that dialogue where, like, she said, Tsugumi said, I'm looking for despair. That was a response to Takeshi saying that we don't have to have despair. Okay. That took me so long to figure that out because of the awkward wording. And if it comes to that, I'll do my best to help you.
あ、倉成さん、おはようございます。
Korinari-san, good morning. But it's already past noon. Like, you overslept, like, into one... You did like me. I was thinking about this. Sora suddenly appeared in front of me. Sora. Suddenly, Sora appeared, and I was amused. Okay.
すみません。驚かせてしまったみたいで。
Sorry, I think I startled you. No, I'm just thinking about Sora, and Sora was there, and I panicked.
私のことを考えていたんですか？
Thinking about me? Sora looked embarrassed for a moment. Where is Sora?
ごめんなさい。今までプログラムのメンテナンスをしていたので、いなかったんです。
Sorry about that. I've been doing maintenance on the program, so I wasn't around. Oh, where were you, I guess? It wasn't going directly to where was Sora. I was just going, where were you? No, that's not what I meant. Okay. So he did mean, where is Sora?
AI 部分に若干の思考エラーが確認されたもので、それを修正していました。
The AI program had some thinking errors identified, which were corrected. Correcting thinking errors?
それはですね、
That's the thing.
時々私に悪影響を与えようとする侵入者がいるんですよ。嘘を教えたり、意地悪をして混乱させたり、最後には私を乗っ取ろうとするんです。
We didn't get to observe it this time, even though we're in a route. Sometimes there are intruders who try to influence me in a negative way. Sometimes they tell me lies, sometimes they are mean and confusing. Finally, they try to take over me. Well, okay. I presume she just means manipulate you. Intruder?
いわゆるクラッカーのことです。彼らにいたずらをされていないかとか、バックドアを仕掛けられてないか、セキュリティホールはないかとかを一通りチェックしていたんです。
I mean, the so-called crackers. I was checking for any security holes, any back doors, any pranks that they might have played on us.
結局原因は分からなかったのですが。
In the end, I didn't know what caused it. Is there an intruder, or does that mean there's a line somewhere to the ocean?
そうかもしれません。昨日の電波妨害もどうやら侵入者の影響のようでしたから。
Maybe you're right, because yesterday's radio jamming was also apparently due to an intruder.
私のデータにはない隠されたネットワークがドリットシュトックの下、eBay。
Huh. So the intruder is not Takeshi? The hidden network that is not in my data under Drite stock. Ah, got the answer. Suddenly, Sora stopped moving as if something was about to be said. Sora, what's going on? She froze. Oops. Sora had frozen over, and time stood still in this place. Sora, are you okay?
フェアボーテン、レベル、デルタ。
Potent. Level Delta. Hey, potent. Huh. I don't know what that German word is. Still frozen Sora, only mechanical voices could be heard. Can I translate that from German? Fair porting. I can't. Okay. I tried. Translator went chaotic. Because it's got this auto, which I don't like because it could accidentally grab something that's like my personal information having to sit on my computer somewhat or somewhere. Sora? Fix Sora now because she got it all frozen. And silence. Delusion that I was the only one left behind. Outside of still time. Okay.
ジュステーム、ビーダラオフナーメ。
System. Yeah, Bitaram Funame. Which probably is something German, which I don't know. Then I hear the cold voice again.
すみません。ご心配をおかけしてしまって。
I'm sorry for causing you to worry. Suddenly, if time had moved, Sora begins to move. So then the question is, who is the intruder? Is it Sugumi or is it Yoiki? Likely Yoiki. Are you alright? What's wrong with you?
ちょっと、チェックに引っかかってしまって、ストップがかかったみたいです。
So I got caught in a check and it looked like I got to stop. So, this is what you was talking about when she said that Sora freezes when he gets caught in prohibitions.
話を続けますと、今までレミと私はメンテナンスをしていました。
Continue the story and tell how Lemon and I have been doing maintenance.
その間にレミュー全体のチェックも休止状態でしたので、施設を再チェックしているんです。
That conveniently hasn't happened until now. She hasn't hit a stop before, for some reason. During that time, there was also a pause in checking the entire Lemu, so we are rechecking the facility.
その際にメンテナンスルームの配管の一部に負荷がかかっている場所があったので、確認をしに来たところです。
At that time, there was a spot where some of the piping in the maintenance room was overloaded, so we just came to check it out. More piping overloaded? Well, is there anything I can do to help?
それでは、お願いできますか？
Could you please? Ah. Then the plumbing was toned down with Sora's instructions. Okay. Just fixed. After the conditioning was over, Sora left the room because she was still in the middle of checking the facility. Me, meanwhile, I wanted to ask where Sora really was, but in the end, I didn't. Find the Himmel door already. Get that done. Get that over with. That probably because I didn't want to see a Sora like that, a frozen Sora, because I didn't want to see. Yes, whatever. In the meantime, the recharging was progressing without a hitch. The meter indicating the amount of charge is also rising steadily. Submersibles, well, submarines, whatever, is recharging using the power supply that is stored at this facility, so there should be no problem even if there is a power outage. Oh, that's interesting. Battery charges battery thing. Approximately 19 hours remaining. Not 1.9, 19. 19 hours to get out of here. Looking back, it's a series of hard and painful events. Yeah, sooner or later, Tsugumi's going to come back and say, "I was in the jellyfish gondola and I saw IBF from in there." It all ends tomorrow, I guess, but not in the way you're going to expect it to end. I was deeply moved. I recalled all the things I had done, basked in my own glory. That kanji's so problematic. This is the last time. I'd like to end it on a happy note. You have the rest of your life to do. Yeah, so let's have a banquet to celebrate tomorrow's pulse and wish for success. Because we're gonna have to do the party again, okay. Pulse isn't probably the right word, but whatever. Exit. Once that's decided, let's get ready to go. So we're gonna do the party scene again, okay? Which wasn't really a scene. Not gonna do the whole hit the kid thing. It's been so long since there's been a choice. I think the last choice I remember is the one of stop Tsugumi or don't. It's like hasn't been a choice since then. I go to the souvenir stand and pick out some food and drinks for the banquet and load them onto a cart. Now, where shall we hold the banquet? In the rec room, right? Not the break the room with the statues in it. It's kind of tasteless to call it a rest room. Yeah, that's a good place, right? Correct. Rickety cart loaded with food, drinks, and a salary, especially celery, came to the square. Where shall we do it? Looked around the square. Hmm. Coco Peep and the boy came into view. Coco seemed to be alright. What is that guy doing? Boy, he's looking at Coco with some sort of ha hara expression on his face. PP was also staring back, I presume. This is a staring contest thing? Again? Once I was done, I compared the cart. I stopped the cart and headed for Coco and the others. Coco suddenly approached one of the three statues of the goddess of mercy and put her hand on its pedestal.
よいしょ。
Good job, okay. I just started to climb up.
うんせ、うんせ。
So they're gonna do the whole riding on the statue thing. Coco is hooking her feet on the pedestal and wrapping her hands around the goddess as if she's hugging her.
ココ、一体何やってるの？
What are you doing? For some reason, what are you doing is not a phrase that Deep Hell can understand. He always has to interject a hell all the time. The boy asked a supremely straightforward question. Saw? Of course, I didn't know either.
やっほー。
Yahoo!
視点がちょっと高くなるだけで見えるものは随分変わるんだね。
It's a little bit higher perspective changes what you see a lot, doesn't it?
正確には68センチってとこかな。
I think it's more like 86 centimeters to be exact. Coco, standing on a pedestal, said with a proud look on her face.
ねえ、ココ。そのためだけにそこに登ったの？
Let's see, policy 86. That 5-7. Okay, how many 17? 5-17s is 90. Is 85. Right? 5 times 17 is 85. She said 86 centimeters. So it's 1 centimeter off from integer multiple of 17. So what, 1 centimeter is important here? Is that why you're up there?
はい。
Me?
違うよ。
Yeah, and then we have Chikayo actually mean something. I'm transitioning. Tilting her head slightly, Coco replies.
この辺がね、ちょぴっと寂しかったの。
It was a little lonely around here.
寂しい？
Okay. The me is interjected, so you're lonely? Which part? Okay. How?
背中。
背中が寂しいかなと思ったの。
Pay attention really close here. I thought my back might be lonely. So the second kanji's wrong. I thought her back might be lonely. Or barren or something. Coco caressed the back of the goddess statue with the palm of her hand.
ほいでね。
So it's not I'm lonely, it's lonely. Okay. Which is different than the original, which she actually explicitly said I'm lonely. At least according to the translators, if they got it right. Okay.
ピカピカポカーン。マイナスドライバー。
It's gonna be untranslatable. Mysterious and monstrous sound. A flat blade screwdriver is held in Coco's right hand.
かける2。
Okay. She's gonna draw the same picture that she already drew on the stone on Incel Knoll. She somehow predicted the future. Because she can do that. In addition, another screwdriver appears in her hand. Where did she get those from? Without even a question from me, Coco swung the two screwdrivers into the I guess just the body of the goddess. I don't know why it's translated womb. It's not a very nice picture. Caesarean by screwdriver. Then, with this onomatopoeia of gori, 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 she began to carve something with the tip of the screwdriver.
しょ。よいしょ。
But inconsistent. Like, it's like annoying. So, this is the ko katakana, right? As I made koko. This is the ko hiragana. This is like the same phonetically, but they wrote it differently. Why? Thing is, though, this is not the right. It's like, why are they changing? What's Japanese? She said she was lonely, and Coco started carving something. She worked hard on the carving. The carving, okay.
何やってるの？
What are you doing? Boy's position, he can't seem to see clearly what Coco is doing.
掘ってるの
Carving.
刻んでるの
Chopping it up.
この石像に証を刻み込んでるの
Carving my testimony into these statues. Or my story, that is.
証をどうして？
Your proof? Why?
それは
Testimony. It's
寂しかったから
because I was lonely.
それにあのね
You know,
悔しいの
it's frustrated.
悔し
Oh,
かったんだここは
supposed to be sad, probably. It's recognizing it's frustrated, though. So now it gets to the I was feeling lonely. And anyway, I was feeling sad from the original. Small Coco mutters. Coco works on. Two screwdrivers, handled simultaneously and dexterously with both hands.
悔しい？
今日
Frustrated?
まで誰も助けに来てくれないってことはココたちに捨てられちゃったってことでしょ
No one has come to help us until today. It means we have been abandoned, right?
だから証をココたちはここにいるって証を誰かに見つけてもらおうってそう思って
Yeah, but you're calling for help, Coco, from some place way out there. It's like you still have some hope from someone way out there. So I thought I'd get someone to find proof that we're here. That's okay. Me and the boy looked at each other. Man, they're really nailing down the purposes more here. The original, she just did it because she wanted to. She's like, fine, I just want to wreck this place. Again, look at Coco's hand. And then this is the first time we figure out that Coco knows about Chami. Because so far, the only person we know has seen Chami is Takeshi. They were in human form. Stick figures. Simple human figure. They look like wire dolls. At the end of the wire is a single round face.
何これ？
What is it?
ここだよ
It's Coco.
でこっちがピピとチャミ
And this is Pee-Pee and Chami. Upon closer inspection, two images of beasts I had never seen before were etched beside the human-shaped wounds.
ここんとこはタケピョンソラピーつぐみん
These Takepyon, Sora, P, Tsugumi.
でショウちゃんとナッキュ
Sochan, which is a boy, and Nakyu, which is you.
よーし次は
It's next time or something like not quite like next time because that's a mistranslation likely. Finishing Coco tries to draw something. Isn't that what? Isn't that all of them? Coco, standing in a pedestal in an unstable position, loses her balance.
あ、危ない。
Look out, and she falls. As soon as the boy backed up, he supported Coco's body. It's kind of wrong, but whatever. Always an incorrect translation. Put my hand on her waist to keep her from slipping off and gently push her back onto the pedestal.
ありがとう。
足元気をつけてね。
The remaining figure, watch your step, will be like remain mysterious. It's like she's gonna draw Blink Winkle. Okay. Coco, having regained her balance, landed on the ground with a pion. It's nice to leave a legacy, but we're getting out of here tomorrow. Why don't we leave behind some happy memories anyway?
楽しい思い出
Happy memories.
楽しい思い出？
Say the same thing, right? Yep. Yes, a pleasant memory. Let's have a big banquet and celebrate tomorrow's escape and to wish them as wish us success.
宴会大宴会やる
You can now tell this symbol means big. Big banquet. Let's went along with it. CR is having trouble with this. Try again. There you go. I'll take care of the preparation, so why don't you and Coco get the others?
いいよ
It's not going to be translatable.
しょうちゃんピピ行こう
I can translate. Coco and the kid, Pee run out to call everyone. Start getting ready. Now only a full hour. Wait. Backlog. Yeah, it's one. Okay. Coco knows how to get Tsugumi, right? Because Coco can do that kind of thing. Sora is finish the facility check. I was worried about whether Tsugumi would participate in the event, but she also came. This is probably thanks to Coco.
それでは明日の脱出と皆様の健康と人類の進歩と調和を祈りまして乾杯。
This I'm gonna try to do a. Whoops, wrong thing. There we go. Try to eliminate the text box, and then take this off the recording. That way, at least for some duration on the recording, we actually have the whole CG in the video. Okay, this is a new CG. Now, it's different than the CG we saw in the opening crawl, where they had beer. That's interesting. Um, also, don't know if they had this. They likely didn't have the same artist as the original for this, but the artist did a pretty good replication. Like, it's really hard to tell that it's like it's not stylistically very different than the original artist. Like, this artist still has trouble drawing fingers, so fingers are all so fat. And there's a lot of fingers in this shot. I wish for your skate tomorrow, your good health, and the progress and harmony of mankind. Oh, goodness. Then the bouquet started with Yu's opening remarks. Oh, that was Yu's line. Okay. For some reason, I thought it was Takeshi's, but I didn't read the name line. So it's like it didn't pop out because these things are not English unless the name line doesn't pop out at me. Eventually, Yu suggested that we all show off one trick or another. Eventually, okay, Yu herself performed a play about a fight between a treasure hunter and a gunman, and a suspicious archaeologist who is good with a whip. That may not be a reference to something that may have something to do with Harrison Ford. It's not really a trick, though. That's just telling the stories of Harrison Ford. Surviving nuclear blasts inside a refrigerator. Then here comes Pee-Pee's acrobatic tightrope walking, ball riding, and fire wheel climbing. Pee-Pee, you are indeed special. The fire ring was a mirage because fire is strictly forbidden. Oh, this is Pee-Pee. Okay. I know why PP can do those things. Okay. Did I say PP the first time? I said it was some other thing. Say some other character besides PP. Hopefully I didn't. Uh, I don't know where they got the ball from. As Coco conjures these things, objects out of nowhere. Sora performed a dolphin juggling act with Mirage, which is basically nothing because it's just Mirage. Just a movie of dolphins being juggled. Dolphins swimming around on the ground, splashing and jumping were quite impressive. It's not flopping around on the ground though, is not juggling, but whatever. Then, to my surprise, Tsugumi joined and did this trick where she resurrected from the dead or something. Suddenly, a hamster appeared in the palm of her hand. Which you and the kid may not know about. And Sora. This was the most impressive trick of all. She was the first one to do this. That's it. She just opened her hand and there was a hamster. This is what it got everyone's attention the most. I was surprised that she had shown Chammy to everyone, but everyone else was surprised that they had never heard of Chammy before. Well, but Coco carved Chammy on the rock, though.
チャミちゃん、かわいいね。
Chammy's so cute. For some reason, Coco seems to be the only one who knew about it, because she did. The kid doesn't know any tricks. Then leaning. Okay. Comedy. Which is not a good idea. Bursts of flirtation is that's probably something to do with this. Whoa, that was a mistake. I don't know what that did to my recording. Um, figure out how to. I have to pause my encoding now and figure out how to demaximize a window. This is annoying. Okay, well, here we go. Ah, okay. That was panic-inducing. I guess doing something funny with it though. This is from. All I need to do is hide and remake it. Okay, continuing. I was just talking about that.
ああ、ごめん、たけし。教わったこと、もう全部忘れちゃったよ。
Sorry, Takeshi, I've forgotten everything you taught me. It's a shame. You should at least take notes, dude. I haven't done anything yet.
そうだっけ？
Right.
どうも、失礼しました。
Sorry for the inconvenience. It's a fake out. Okay. Shimatsu. Just finished no comedy dialogue. There was a round of applause.
もう最高だよ。
You sprite, apparently. I love it.
いやー、堪能させてもらったわ。
So
恐れ入ったわ。
afraid.
すごいですね、お二人とも。
You're amusing, aren't you? Thank you.
ありがとう、ありがとう。
Two thank yous. To finishing their comic dialogue. Math. I presume that's you. Tip their seats where they originally are originally seated. Can't conjunct them. It's like this character. Yeah, okay, yeah, that's the character that got switched. So, yeah, that's the character that got switched right there. But I'm surprised too that you would use no memory as an excuse for a story. So when she said, "I'm so afraid," what does she mean? She's like, "I'm so surprised." Okay.
そういうつもりじゃなかったんだけど、流れでなんとなくね。
I don't mean to, but it's kind of happened. So what about the haters? Well, okay.
なんか、いろいろ混ざってごちゃごちゃしていて、はっきりしないんだ。
It's all mixed up and messy. It's not clear. Susan's like, "What about your memory?" Not what about the haters. If you're not clear, does that make you mean you're remembering things?
メモに書いてもすぐ忘れちゃうから、何を書いたのかわからないけどね。
I don't know what I wrote in my notes though because I forgot them so quickly. Huh. Show me the notes you have been writing. forget how to write Japanese? It's possible. Very likely, actually. It is filled with a string of letters that had no connection to the meaning of the words, and drawings of what they depicted. What are these round things? There are a lot of them painted on the wall. Written in the book. The note that I flipped through had a number of similar round figures written on it.
なんだろう。よくわからないけど、よく見えるんだ。暗闇に浮かぶ青白く銀色の丸いものが。
What is it? I don't know, but I can see it. A pale, silvery round thing floating in the dark. You mean the moon? Isn't that the moon?
月？月って何？
Moon, what's the moon? Let's see, Earth's satellites in the sky, floating in the sky at night.
それは知ってるけど。
I know that, but
クラナリー、お楽しみゲームってのはいつ始めるのよ。
something else about the moon. Special. Right. When are we going to start playing a fun game? Oh, you. Oh, let's get started already.
うん。
I opened. Basically, the kid and math from the kid was supposed to be the kid and I. Now I know. Okay, I opened whatever it was and took out the sandwiches I had stocked up for the fun game. And try to backlog that. Let's get started with a game of Tatsuda Sand Roulette. Okay. So sandwich roulette. I opened the basket or something and took out the tuna sandwiches. Okay. So finally got tuna sandwiches. Finally tuna sandwiches.
タツタサンドルーレットってあんたまさか。
Tuna sandwich roulette. Are you kidding me? Yes, I promise you, there is only one great thing in this tuna sandwich. What? Okay. I line up and indicate with both hands the number of tuna sandwiches for the number of people.
すごいものって？
What's so great about it? There's no only really. There's one great thing about the tuna sandwiches. I just had Coco and Pee make me that special sandwich.
あれが入ってるの？ピピどうしよう。
Is it? Pee, what am I going to do? Okay, so Tsugumi's gonna get the sandwich, right? Coco and Pee faces were tense with fear. You guys can go. What did you put in there? It's like a good mythical warning thing with multiple people. It's a good idea. Well, I just said that something that happened on Good Mythical Morning was a good idea. Maybe it's because their lack of creativity. They need to branch out into more bad ideas. I'm sure you'll be surprised at how many special sandwiches I've mixed in. There's only one special sandwich in the mix, which even the creator of the sandwich would be horrified by. Okay, so you'll be surprised that I only mixed one in or something? Okay. It tastes like pizza. Spoilers. Now, who will be the winner?
で、当然、蔵成もやるんでしょうね。
Of course, Kuranara will do it, right? I don't know which one it is, so I can't even. Gikush. Gikushi. Unguided gaze shoots through me. Unguided? Well, it's the wrong word. It's the wrong symbol here. It's this. So, different kind of gaze than unguided one. It's gonna be like, I don't know which one it is, so I'm gonna take one, but. And I've only prepared 5 tuna sandwiches for the number of people.
人数分って私も入っているのでしょうか？
Yeah, but I can't eat a tuna sandwich. I wonder if I'm included in the personal equation. Or the number of people. Loyal and fearful, Sora raises her hand. Of course, Sora is one of us.
そう思ってくれているのは嬉しいんですが、私は食べることができませんので。
Yeah, but I can't eat it. So if I get, you have to eat my sandwich, Takeshi. I'm glad you think so, but I can't eat it. Oh, I forgot you can't eat things for some reason. Ah, yes. I think how this game likes to pick on Takeshi, though. It might actually give the sandwich to Takeshi. But the reason why I think it's going to go to Tsugumi is they're trying to mirror the kid's side. It doesn't look, but in some way. I thought there were 6 in all. I completely forgotten that Sora was inedible. That Sora was inedible. That Sora couldn't eat and had not included that into my calculations. Because what are you,
そ
an
ういうわけ
idiot?
だから蔵成、観念しなさい。じゃあそら、司会進行お願いね。
That's right, Kuranara. You must give up then. Sora, you'll be the moderator, won't you?
わかりました。それでは、これを読むんですか？第1回チキチキ竜田さんのルーレットゲームを開始します。
Okay, let's see. Are you reading this? Let's start the Sticky Chicky Tattoo Sandwich Roulette game.
チキンだけにね。
Only for chicken. Alright, Sora.
それでは皆さん、それぞれ一つずつ竜田サンドを取ってください。
Everyone, please take one tuna sandwich each.
私これ。
I'm here.
ね、これにしよっと。
That probably doesn't translate to anything. I'm gonna take this one.
僕はこれ。
Wa kune. Boku is me, subject, so something to do with me. But it's all right down hiragana, so that makes it hard. The translator to deal with. Takeshi says, "This is here. I guess this is it then. This is it then, or something like that." It shows the right of the two. Doesn't matter which one he chose.
くだらない。
Nonsense. And Sugumi took the last one.
皆さんに行き渡りましたね。
If you all enjoyed it, I'll be right back. Okay. I hope you all enjoy it. Present tense. Sora made sure everyone had a tuna sandwich.
それじゃあ一斉にどうぞ。
Let's do it together. So you got a bite. Another bite. Another bite. Another bite. Looks like Takeshi got it. They're gonna beat up on Takeshi again. Or not. Those are all just bites. It's ready and bit into my tuna sandwich. They're not very creative, are they? They could have put this on any character and they decided to put it on Takeshi, of all people. Like the main character, that's so unoriginal. Okay. Oh, it's delicious. Oh, never mind. Okay, the translation suspense. First, I couldn't taste it, but then my mouth was filled with the exquisite harmony of the tasty tuna and tartar sauce. It was so good. Okay, so it's you. That's so lame. Okay. Sugumi will get it 17 years from now. How the person who's going to give it to him will learn the recipe. The scream sounded like a desperate yell-like scream. Appears that you has hit the jackpot.
ちょっと倉成、あんたふざけないでよね。なんてもの食わせるのよ。
Sorry, Nari. You gotta be kidding. What kind of food are you feeding me? It's like, that's how the game works. Oh, I think you won the special sandwich, didn't you?
ちっとも良くないわよこんなもの。
What you get for chucking me? It's not good at all. This is it? That hog got turned into a person. That's great. I'm sorry, it was just a regular sandwich of. It's supposed to be hazure.
じゃああんたも食べてみなさいよ。
You should try it too. Pop, you threw the special winning sandwich at me. Catch the sandwich. It's not drastic. It's probably just a spoiler. Okay. I decided to take up Yu's offer. Why would you do that? If I did like straight face to it and be like, yeah, it's pretty bad, isn't it? Come on, man, get a grip. I'm desperately trying to be silly, and I am aghast. Don't throw it out. Throw it at me out of the blue. It's delicious food. I know.
何よ。あん
It's delicious
たが
food.
残念がって物欲しそうにしてるからあげたんじゃないのよ。
I didn't give it to you because you looked disappointed and almost desperate. He puffs out her cheeks. Did he's already thrown Coco under the bus for this? Yeah, you wanted me to eat your food that badly, huh?
バカなこと言わないで。いきなり何を言い出すのよ。
Be silly, what are you talking about?
うぬぼれないでよ。別にあんたのことなんか何とも思ってないんだからね。
Don't be so smug. I don't have any feelings for you, okay? Care either.
クラナリの顔なんか見たくないし一緒にいたくない。明日やっと解放されるかと思うとせいせいするわよ。
She claims that, but like in the end, she will claim the opposite. I don't want to see Coronari's face. I don't want to be. To be in ISSO. It's so refreshing to think that tomorrow I'll finally be free. This happens at the party. That's what I'm talking about. And he doesn't take a bite out of the sandwich, does he? He just dodges it. We stared at each other for a while and started laughing at each other.
おかしい。でもこんなことができるのも今日が最後か。
Funny, but I guess it's the last day I can do this. Do what? She's just gonna walk up to him and chuck him on the ground again? Sounds like it. That's when.
嫌だ。
This is gonna happen. Okay. I hate it.
嫌なんだよ。もう。
This doesn't happen during the party in the original. It happens like before the party. Like it happens in the same day as the party, but in the morning. Don't like it. I can't take it. I can't like it anymore. Suddenly, the boy raised his voice. I was about to call out to him. His face slumped. Something unusual happened. Suddenly, a low rumble basically sounded. It's like a thunder crack. It was a muffled, dull sound. The floor was a little scratched. Anxiety runs through everyone's face.
インゼルヌルトをつなぐ柱の一つが剥落した音です。想定内なので崩壊予測時間に変更はありません。
Sound of one of the pillars connecting Incel Null has fallen off. There is no change in the predicted collapse timeline as it is expected. Sorry, reported the current situation.
終わるのが嫌なんだ。
To see it end. Midst of all this, the boy continued to speak further.
僕は不安なんだ。だから終わるのが怖いんだ。一人が不安なんだ。
So I'm gonna stop it on this line. So I'm just gonna stop recording here, and then the boy's outburst later, which means we'll probably like next recording, which will be a long time from now. It'll be like well, it'll probably show up the day after the way I upload, but it'll be like 2 weeks until the recording, the way I do my recordings. We'll actually go down to IBF probably. The anticipation of coming back up to get back to the whale submarine once it's done charging. Okay. Well, before I do, I better save, so I'll do the save. Regular save. This slot. Insert. And I'm going to back out just to make sure it's like in that state. Back out some more. And then close.